Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
I did find her.
Yeah, I wasn't really lost though.
No, she was sick in bed the last couple days. That's why you haven't heard much from her.
I am still not well, but I'm professional and I'm going to get it done.
There you go. It's not the coof. Don't worry.
No, it's the kids had something, then I got that taken care of them. So yay.
Yay. 'Tis the season. Now that everybody's out and about again, I think we're going to get a lot of that. Hey, we're going to talk about the Eternals. It is not getting good reviews.
I know, right?
The movie sounds like it's as boring as it looked from the trailers.
The trailers did no favors to this movie. It looked boring as hell. People were saying, oh, it's like a standalone kind of thing, and it seems like, oh, let's go hire like an arty, more of an arty type director, and and Squid King's like, he's like, why ever would you leave formula when the MCU is built upon all these films that interconnect to each other and a certain brand, a certain way they look? Why the hell are you bragging about making a movie that isn't in brand?
Diversity and Inclusion Initiative.
Probably.
Yeah. That's probably what it is, to be honest.
There's too many characters to shove in. There's no way you can get to know these characters.
No. Look at this. The Times. I knew something was up when this morning I saw this. The Times. 2 out of 5 stars. Derivative.
Oh.
Messy and miserably undernourished. Eternals is a film in search of a script weighed down by navel-gazing elitism and over-earnest platitudes, right?
Sorry.
This is coming from Polygon, which I thought would totally be on board with this movie.
Yeah.
Marvel's Eternals dreams big and falls hard. We've got Comic Book Resources, another one I would think would totally be about this movie. Eternals brings a stunning vision, but its ambitious story misses the landing. It misses the landing.
It's too much. You're trying to shove too much in one film. I don't think it's going to work. And it looks boring as hell.
It does. It does. The trailers, it looked like a boring movie, and everybody would defend it. They're like, no, it's going to be beautifully shot. It's like, yeah, it looked like a perfume commercial or something.
And then they were trying to bring things in, to try to get you like, oh, we're going to bait you with celestials and stuff. And it was weird. And the trailers look like boring as hell. I'm sorry, they did.
Well, Disney are master baiters, getting people to take the bait. They always do a bait and switch. They've done it with Star Wars.
They don't always do it, but they do it often.
Well, I think this movie I think the first impression of this movie from the trailers is probably accurate. It's boring. It's got too many characters in it. It looks more like a really bad DC movie than a Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. And people might walk away from this and be like, what the hell did I just watch? So we're going to talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 238,000 subs. Thank you so much for the support. We do talk about Marvel. We talk about comics. We talk about Disney. We talk about the box office. We've been tracking the Eternals, and it's
We've been telling you, there wasn't a demand for this movie. Like, we thought that this one and Shang-Chi were the ones that were going to have an uphill battle, but this one more so. Because at least the other one people were interested in.
Yeah, Shang-Chi is actually pretty accessible. It's a martial arts movie set in the MCU.
It covers multiple genres people would be interested in.
Yeah.
This one just looked boring from day one.
Yeah, it looks like a perfume commercial or something. Anyway, coming from Forbes, Marvel's Eternals is currently reviewing as the 3rd worst MCU movie ever. Behind, I think it's Dark World and Hulk.
Oh, that's not a compliment. But beyond that, how come they're allowed to call a spade, but if we do it, we're just terrible people who are internalized misogynists. Well, you're a misogynist. I'm an internalized misogynist.
I'm an external misogynist.
We hate diversity and inclusion. We hate people. We're terrible alt-right Yahtzees because how dare we call out that a movie isn't that great. But when they do it, it's completely okay.
Yeah, so this is Paul Tassi, who is, I think he's pretty fair. Mm-hmm. He's a Forbes writer.
Well, we're fair usually, too.
Yeah, but we don't write for Forbes, so our opinions don't count.
I bet.
But I think he's pretty fair. Eternals always seemed like a bit of a risk, even with an A-list cast. They weren't exactly the most exciting or interesting characters to adapt into a film. Now it seems like the bet isn't quite paying off, and Eternals is reviewing worse than almost every other MCU film to date. It's a high bar. Yeah, most Marvel movies do grade pretty high on Rotten Tomatoes. Eternals is on the very, very low end of the spectrum, though, as of right now with the early reviews. With 41 reviews, it's sitting at a 71% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Now, that's not catastrophic, but it also kind of is, because this is like the first outing for these characters, and Disney was betting pretty heavy on this one. And yeah.
Well, I'll be interested to see what they do when the audiences, because here we go, it's Disney. So when it starts to look like the audiences don't like it, all these 5-star, the reviews will start showing up. Oh, there it's already up. Yeah,
it's already up.
We'll start showing up to vote it up, and then they'll review bomb it to the good. But if people give an honest opinion and they don't like it, it's because you're review bombing this movie and trying to make it fail.
I haven't seen many positive reviews. And again, a lot of the outlets that I would think would totally be about this movie, like Polygon and CBR and stuff, are just like, yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess of a movie. It's boring. It's messy. So yeah, since this was written this morning, Disney's managed to score another 4% because they're not going to let this.
Oh, they're going to call their friends up and they're going to call favors in and be like, "Hey, help us boost this up." And we noticed that they've been trying very hard with certain news outlets. I've noticed it more. None of the ones you've mentioned here so far. I've noticed that they've suddenly been every other day, like Eternals this, Eternals that, Eternals. Like there's definitely, call your friends up and tell them, call the people that, you pay a lot of money to advertise on their site up and tell them to write some good reviews for you.
Yeah, if you guys want media access, you're gonna play ball with Mickey. You're gonna play with Mickey's balls.
That's right, because,
you better fondle. You better fondle.
What? Okay, anyway, go ahead.
Anyway.
That's something I didn't want to hear today, but
It makes it the third lowest MCU film of all time out of 26, and generally speaking, the more reviews come in, the further these kinds of scores tend to drop.
Except they're going up, because it's Disney. I would expect the opposite, because it's Disney. They're going to call every favor in they have, because they can't lose this. They've been getting their asses handed to them multiple times.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw a commercial for Disney Plus on one of our videos, actually. I was double checking something, and I was playing the video, and it was basically like a diversity and inclusion commercial for Disney Plus. Like, we need new heroes, and the world needs new heroes, and here are all the new, the MCU marches on, and it's going to go in a totally different direction, guys. Watch these shows on Disney Plus.
They keep trying to make it sound like people won't accept any character. Like, they won't accept that, Anthony Mackie's Captain America, but they did. Like, they keep making it out like people aren't going to accept that, but people do. Like, just because they don't, but maybe your version sucked,
Yeah, I mean, as far as, Falcon becoming Captain America, one, that's happened in the comics, right. And two, they build up this character enough that, it did make sense to transition to Sam.
And then they keep trying to make things stick that aren't sticking, like Captain Marvel. Like,
Ironheart's going to be.
Yeah, people don't like they've tried with the comics. They don't like these characters. No. And you have to like them because women, because don't you know in Hollywood that's what diversity means? It means women. That's pretty much what it means.
Pretty much. Anyway, so as of writing this, now it's gone up. But yeah, Thor: The Dark World, which I do consider that to be the worst MCU movie. Mm-hmm. I think it's barely watchable. I've seen it once. I'm like, God, that was boring.
It's horrible. I say Thor, Hulk, and Iron Man 2 are the ones that everybody cites as being the shittiest.
And they put the Eternals just a little bit below Iron Man 2, so that's not good. Even Age of Ultron, a lot of people didn't like Age of Ultron. Then we have the original Thor, Iron Man 3, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, the first Captain America.
Now, to be fair, though, these reviews are reviews after the movies come out, and the scores are calculated based on different things. And sometimes they've changed some of the way this has been calculated since these came out. When Captain Marvel came out, a lot of safeties went in place to help Disney. So that's like apples to oranges, because it's just now, like, I think the embargo lifted yesterday, so it's not even been a day, So, and these scores are after how long?
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to see this. I want to see what the audience reaction is, because again, when you have outlets that normally would fight tooth and nail for anything Marvel, just to stick it to the fanboys, like Polygon and like CBR, that's not a good sign. Yeah, it's really not a good sign. That means this movie must be pretty.
Well, let's go
boring.
look. What are some of these reviews? Well, you have it. Oh, you're on the ball.
Look at this.
And then you have to remember, too, sometimes, like, okay, now 4 out of 5, I would say, is fresh. But sometimes they'll have, like, a 2.5 out of 5, and they'll say, hey, it's fresh.
Yeah, like, this is not a good review. Looper, feels like homework. If you don't want the rest of the class to move on without you, it's mandatory. But in the end, you'll just be glad to turn it in and move along to the next thing.
How is that a fresh?
How is this a fresh? Eternals is Marvel's Suicide Squad, but with a slightly better ending. That's not great. Worth seeing just to experience the bizarre narrative corners IP-driven filmmaking and mindless synergy have painted these filmmakers into. That's not exactly a glowing review.
And they're giving them glowing reviews for this. A disappointment of cosmic proportions, Eternals never takes off due to the pedestrian script that wastes a galaxy of talent. Yeah, it's a decent flick, but it really manages to rise above what we've already seen. 6 out of 10. Fresh.
How is that a positive? That's a very middling.
Well, this is D+. A convoluted cosmic misfire and one of Marvel's dullest efforts in years. The weight of complicated exposition weakens the energy of Eternals a little too often. It's at its best when the focus is on the Eternals recreating their family, the humor of it, and the passion when they fight for each other and the things they love.
Okay, look at this. Grace Randolph, who she said before, once the embargo was up, she said, yeah, I got concerns about this movie. This is not positive. There are enough good elements here to warrant a fresh tomato. Okay, but wow, did Chloe Zhao not understand the MCU assignment?
Yeah, so some of these are getting rated as positive, but I don't think they are. And a lot of times I think they said that the critics can determine if they're giving it a fresh or a rotten. And some of these reviews sound like they're rotten, but they're giving it a fresh because, it's Disney or
It's
Marvel.
pretty, it looks good.
I want to keep my Marvel media access.
Yeah, it leans heavy on exposition. I think it's gonna be a very talky movie. I think it's gonna be a very
Eternals may not be the worst of Marvel's movies, but it's undoubtedly the most disappointing.
It's only the third worst.
Yeah, boy, does this patchy, paceless film go on for an eternity.
Oh God, these are not good. This is not good. I kind of wonder if a lot of these media outlets aren't on Disney's payroll anymore because of Bob Chapek. Because we know that Bob Iger,
he's cheap.
Yeah, he's cheap, and Bob Iger was all about Hollywood.
I think why they're trying to bring Eternals out is because Avengers, they don't have the rights to a lot of those to use them in the theme parks. So we'll start a new bunch and then we'll use them in the theme parks. I like this one, this PA Media, the most emotionally intimate Marvel story to date. Right, because when I go to see an MCU movie, I want emotionally intimate.
Don't they have a gay sex scene in this one?
I don't know, but I'm just saying, when I go see this movie, when I go see MCU movies, I don't go there to see the emotional intimacy and the deep talk. I go in to watch somebody kick somebody's ass. I mean, you want to go see the Eternals kick a Celestial's ass or kick these other characters' ass. You don't want to see them have deep discussions and intimate moments. That's another genre completely.
Scott Mendelson, notorious Disney shill. Eternals shows Marvel making the same mistakes as its rivals. Generic superhero characters, piss. People in super suits.
Yeah, piss.
Dull effects-driven action, making the entire film a prologue for the sequel. Might not get there. Who knows?
That picture he always uses, you know what that reminds me of? When
Joker?
I was going to say, when we take pictures sometimes as a joke, Squid King will sit behind somebody and make that face.
Oh my God.
He'll just photobomb people randomly that are taking pictures, and he'll just sit there behind them and make this face. And that's what it reminds me of, is this creepy weirdo face. And I don't know why he thought that was a good image to use for his.
I don't know. There is just not a lot of excitement about this. There are not a lot of 10 out of 10. This is a home run. This is the best movie ever. It's like a tomato for this movie is like a 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10.
Well, there's some women in here. You see them giving reviews, and the women are they just in the ones that give it negative ones? Are they just internalized misogynists? I want to up here.
Look at this one. Okay, Linda. Look at Linda down here. Tomato, a mishmash of well-meaning, jarringly verbose, and bafflingly incoherent nonsense, which is only just about saved by some half-decent performances.
3 out of 5, but they counted it as fresh. Yeah, they don't want to lose they reviewed it fresh because they don't want to lose their biscuit with Disney. But the one site that I kept seeing really shilling for Eternals is CBR.
Yeah.
It isn't bad at all and ranks among the better entries in the MCU.
But they said it can't stick the landing. It's a miss.
Right. This is just not good. There's too many characters.
Yeah.
They're trying to introduce all these characters in one film. If that was that easy, they would have done it years ago with the Avengers instead of each of them having their own movie.
They should have just taken 2 or 3 of the Eternals, introduced them, and then introduced the rest of the cast in another movie.
Or had them in passing, but then you focus on I don't know. But we said this was going to be a giant effing mess. When you saw the trailers, it was boring as hell.
Yeah.
I wouldn't pay to see this movie. And I think that the spoiler at the end, which I'm not going to say what it is, but if you saw their video, in the end credits scene, they're doing that. And I think they let it get leaked because they were hoping that people would go to see the movie just for that stupid minute. of the screen time, because otherwise, if it does well, I'm calling shenanigans, flat out.
Because space rape is so hot right now.
Yeah, but if this film does well, and they start, oh, look at all the box office numbers. Look, oh my gosh, it performs so well. Bullshit. I call absolute bullshit.
Yeah. Both Shang-Chi and Guardians of the Galaxy are inside the top 10. At times, both were very unknown by general audiences. So it's not just because they're unknown characters.
But the trailers were interesting.
Look, there have been 2 or 3 trailers for this movie, and every one of them I get car commercial and perfume commercial vibes from.
The last one they showed some action, but even then, I remember Squicking, he was like, he just rolled his eyes and said it looks stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, common complaint. It's doing a bad impression of an early DCEU film. Has too many no-name heroes stacked in one offering. Even the marketing materials. Everybody looks bored as hell.
Well, I think I read somewhere that they make a Superman joke in it even.
Probably.
I think I read that. So I'm just like,
who the hell cares?
Let's go on to the next. I mean,
that's what every Marvel movie is a commercial for the next Marvel movie.
Of all the ones they had listed on the slate coming out for the next phase, this was one I was least interested in. And that's even including the Marvels.
I would actually prefer to see Black Panther 2 without the Black Panther than this one.
Mm-hmm. I'd actually watch the Marvels over this one because I know Monica Rambeau's in it.
Yeah.
And I liked her. So this is just, maybe, and if you like it, that's cool. And if you're excited about it, that's cool. You're allowed to be. You might go to it and you might think it's a great movie, and that's okay. You're allowed to. People have different tastes. But a lot of people don't like this movie, and I'm really, really curious when it opens up to quote-unquote audience review, what happens there, because you know damn well that they have a whole bunch of people paid to come in and be like, all the studios do, it's not just Disney, come in to be like, 5 stars best, and you can even see things written in Bodish.
Yeah.
In
Bodish? Is that
am I wrong? You see these reviews and you can tell it's written by a bot.
Yeah.
And they happen, and all the studios do it. It's not just Disney, but I have no doubt that they'll pay, really, really well to different groups to go in and, show the hell out of it.
I love this though. Paul Tassi's like, if something looked off about this offering to you, you're not alone. Things will probably get better with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
Well, Spider-Man's gonna kick all kinds of ass.
Spider-Man's gonna kick ass.
But here's the thing: if you think something looks strange, you're not alone. We brought this stuff up, and how many times people are like, "You're all these haters," hating on this movie and hating on this stuff, and calling us out. Even different blogs were calling people out.
Oh yeah, they're like, "Oh my God, the man babies are at it already." It's like, no.
The reviews, like when they did video clips, like the trailers, the comments, a lot of the comments were like, "I don't know why people are hating on this so much." And there's people are really liking this, honest.
Here we go, Polygon. Marvel's Eternals dreams big and falls hard. From Polygon.
That's a movie. Dream big, fall hard.
Dream big, fall hard. All right, we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.